Boilermakers, Boiler football putting this out earlier today. Juwan Bentley, Jake Replogle, DeAngelo Yancey, all fired up for Big Ten Media Day. They're with head coach Darrell Hazell. And how about Jake looking pretty good in the photo shoot?
Yeah, I'm looking
natural,
all right.
Confident.
Yeah, exuding confidence. I'm looking all right.
You exude confidence.
Yeah, exactly.
I couldn't have put it better. Jake Replogle, joined by Juwan Bentley, as well as DeAngelo Yancey. Guys, really good to have you here. We already talked to your coach, Darrell Hazell. He's very confident heading into this year. Feels like you guys are ready to take a huge step forward. Give people who are outside this program, who might look at Purdue and say, they won one conference game a year ago. Why is there any reason to believe it'll be any different? Give us reasons to believe why it will.
I believe you can just tell when you walk in a Purdue building now, it's a whole different type of energy. I believe we have experienced guys. We have a great amount of confidence in ourselves. You can just see we have a whole different swag, and I just love that about our group. I just can't express. I don't really want to talk too much about it. I just want to show by showing you guys results.
What would you say, Jake?
I mean, we got some guys that played as freshmen, sophomores, maybe earlier in Coach Hazell's campaign when we first got here that are now seniors and juniors. Kind of have that feeling of our backs against the wall and we're ready to roll. We're ready to make some plays and make some things happen in the Big Ten.
DeAngelo, why are you going to be better?
It's a different feel in the atmosphere. A lot of emerging leaders, and we just ready to get the show on the road.
Who are some of the guys? Who are some of the people who have shown leadership?
A lot of different guys in different position rooms. Us three, DeJuan Hunt with the D-backs, Evan Panfield also on the D-line, Danny Izuchukwu with the linebackers, David Blau, quarterback. It's a lot of leaders.
Give us a sense of the difference that the new coordinators have made. You have new coordinators on both sides of the ball. What kind of difference has that made? And let's start with you, with Coach Malone. You're the one who can speak to the offense. What kind of impact has the fact that he's now ascended to that spot meant to the offense?
Coach Malone, he's definitely brought confidence to the group. He's made everything like a tad bit simpler. Like, it's easier to play. Less thinking. You can play a little bit more faster.
How so? Give us a sense of why it's easier. What's different?
Oh, it's simple. It's 3rd and 3, all slants. Easy as that. You don't have to know no gadgets, no tricks, no motion, nothing like that.
Right. Just play the game. What about defensively? Jake, I can start with you.
Yeah.
What's different in terms of the leadership at the front of the room in the defensive team meetings?
Yeah, I mean, I think the players have taken more control defensively. Vocal leaders like Juwan, myself, Evan Panfield, Leroy Clark, just talented guys, and Coach Els is a fiery dude. He gets after it, and he's also, like DeAngelo's kind of put on for the offense, he's made things simple. I mean, that's the biggest thing, is playing fast within the defense and knowing what you're doing. And I think that's something that we've had a good summer, kind of understanding more of the defense that we put in.
What would you say, Juwan?
I would say pretty much what Jake said, but along with that, I would say Coach Els brings discipline. He's a lot more disciplined. You can see his attention to detail is almost unmatched. You could tell when he first got there that his attention to detail is crazy, and you really buy into that. How much time he spends doing things like that. He's the type of coach that brings his lunch pail to practice as well. He's expected out of his players, and we see it out of him as well.
What's the message that Coach Hazell has given you guys? I feel like each team, you can get a sense when they come each year of kind of what the rallying cry is. What's the rallying cry for Purdue? What's he telling you to get you guys going?
As far as the rallying cry, he lets us know that every team has a rallying cry, but it's what you do between the white lines that really counts. The results is what really counts. We always say everybody has a war cry, but when you're ready for war, are you ready for war or not? That's at the end of the day, you just gotta know whether you're ready or not, and we believe that we are ready.
Yeah, I mean, everything that Juwan says is true. I mean, Coach Hazell kind of let us know early on that he believes that our team's capable of winning the West, and that's something that we believe as players, as leaders, and I think it runs through the whole program, and that's a goal of ours that we think is something that we can accomplish this year.
You know, I look at a few of the games last year that you guys lost, and you were within 3 points in the last 90 seconds in 3 of the games you lost. So, DeAngelo, what do you do to turn those losses into wins?
Pay attention to detail. I know we're going to focus on finishing, because those couple games we lost and the minutes dwindling down, you just got to finish and embrace what I say. Embrace challenge, I would say. That's what you should do.
All right, so how do you finish? How do you go from saying you're going to finish, Jake, to actually doing it?
I mean, it starts with the work and preparation that you put in. Like summer workouts right now, we gotta work and play like we're gonna be Big Ten champions, Big Ten and the West Division champions. So it starts there, and then you have to have a mindset and an attitude that you're the better team, and you have to have the physical capabilities of finishing. And I think we're getting there.
Anything to add to that, Juwan?
Yeah, along with that, discipline. Then now in those games, like DeAngelo said, at the end of the games, we had some penalties that cost us. So we've definitely been working on that. We've been working on discipline. And at the end of the day, you just have to go out there and play the game, and the results will definitely show.
Well, the results were disappointing last year, and I think one of the explanations for it was you guys were depleted by injuries. Your injury had a huge impact on this team. There's no doubt about it. So Purdue fans want to know, how are you feeling physically?
I'm 100%. I'm ready to go. That's the message I got for Purdue Nation.
What have you seen, Jake, as you've watched him go through
he's back
workouts?
at it. He's a vocal leader of our team. Physically, he's a freak. He's a really talented guy, and the work that he puts in is something to admire. So I'm excited that he's behind me again on the defense.
One of the areas where this defense has to improve is against the run. What specifically do you guys point to that makes you think you'll be a better run defense this year?
My belief this year, we've focused more on like the substitution aspect of everything. We're matching up with teams personnel-wise. With teams come out in 22, we play Iowa and Wisconsin, those kind of guys. Yeah, you have the personnel to match, and also when you have the Indianas and all those teams, you spread it out. We match up as well. So Coach Ellis definitely brings a whole lot of different schemes to the table.
Is that philosophy of Coach Ellis, or is that just a function of having more depth now that you guys can mix and match personnel?
I would say a little bit of both, because sometimes you might catch yourself in situations where you have three backers on the field and you're not able to adjust to a three-wide receiver set team. So then our experience from last year, keeping three backers on the team at all times, comes into play, and it definitely gives us a leg up.
DeAngelo, give me a sense of the quarterback race. There was a question in the media session to Coach Hazel about when are you going to name David Blau your starting quarterback, not when are you going to name a starting quarterback, but when are you going to name David Blau. He's hesitant to do that right now, but he told us a fairly quick time frame in terms of naming a starter. Give us a sense of both Blau and Sindelar and what you've seen from each one of those guys going back to spring practice and then when you've worked out informally in the summer as well.
Both of those guys, their confidence is through the roof, and when you look at David, he's probably the best at improvising. And you take a look at Elijah Sindelar, he probably has the strongest arm in the country. So as far as making that decision, that's totally in Coach Hazel's hands. But I'm comfortable with either one behind the center.
What have you guys seen from the quarterback spot? I know you observe it from a different point of view when you're on defense, but what have you noticed, Jake?
I mean, they're both talented guys. Blau's a really good leader. Elijah's kind of the younger guy. I think probably has a really strong arm. Not saying Blau doesn't. But, I mean, they're both guys that I think this team can get behind, and they're both talented guys.
Yeah, I like that they're both competitors. They're both, like, you can see it, like, even in workouts. Me and David go at it, competing all the time in workouts. So you can definitely see the competitiveness in both of them.
We were talking about your injury last year and the impact that had on the defense. Injuries are a part of the game. We all know that. We saw DJ Knox go down in the spring game. It puts a lot of onus on Markell Jones, who I think, a lot of people weren't necessarily paying attention to Markell Jones last year because you guys were a little bit off the radar as the season progressed. But, man, he was awfully good for those of us who were watching. So give us a sense of what you saw from him as you try to bring him down in practice and what fans can expect going forward.
Yeah, I think it's definitely hard to show out in the Big Ten as a freshman. And so for him to do that, it's definitely if he didn't open eyes last year, he'll open them this year. So I just can't wait to see the young guy on the field transition from a freshman to a sophomore. Teams in the Big Ten definitely know about him. So this would be a great year for him.
What makes him special, Jake?
He's hard to bring down, and I think what I've heard from other guys and what I kind of see in practice is his vision. I mean, he really makes really good cuts, and again, he's a tough dude to kind of bring down to the grass. So I mean, he's a talented guy.
A young guy, DeAngelo, what's his attitude like when you're a guy who's already front and center on a team as young as he is? How does he carry himself?
You know, some guys will get the big head and think they arrived already, but he's a guy, he's in every Saturday doing extra lifts, extra running, and it's definitely going to pay off for him. He's going to be a great player.
Well, you guys have made no bones about the fact you think you're going to be better this year as a team. We'll take a look at the schedule here in front of the Boilermakers. It's formidable. It's challenging. I don't think there's any doubt about that. But you do have the non-conference games all at home. You start on the road with Maryland, Illinois, and on through. Give us a sense in your mind of what would be a successful year. Is making a bowl game a successful year? Is competing for the championship? Where do you draw that line, DeAngelo, where you would say, hey, you know what? Coming off what we had last year, 1-7 in the league, this was good.
Like I've been saying all day, if we don't make the postseason, it's considered a failure. So postseason or better.
Yeah, I mean, we know we're good enough to make a bowl game, and that's something we talk about a lot. Winning the West is another goal. But I think having that bowl game would be huge for our team, and we're good enough to do it.
For me, the sky's the limit for this team. I can only see us going up. And as far as I'm concerned, like he said, the postseason or failure.
Juwan Bentley, Jake Replogle, DeAngelo Yancey. Guys, thanks for spending a few minutes with us. Enjoy the next couple of days in Chicago, and we look forward to seeing you. Our last stop on the training camp tour will be Purdue this year. We are looking forward to seeing you in West.